Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Trunks here are good. Anything below the navel is a foul. We went over the rules. Thank you. God bless. Touch up.
Bernardo Osuna, Bernard Hopkins, and now the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, joining us here for tonight's main event. Pablo Cesar Cano, this is a huge fight for him, and also for Ruslan Madiyev, who's stepping up in competition. This is just a taste. Mexico against Kazakhstan, although everybody's waiting for Saturday night, Oscar.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you, Bernard. Good to see you.
Good to see you too,
it's amazing how these rivalries start, and obviously we're gonna get a little taste here of what a Mexican fighter and a fighter from Kazakhstan can do inside that ring. They're gonna give us fireworks. They're gonna give us a lot of action.
And you know, Pablo Cesar Cano off to a great start. And B-Hop, that's exactly how he got off to a start in his last fight against Marcelino Lopez, only to be caught in the second round by an overhand right and stopped. So, you know, his dad told us, who is also his trainer, he likes to go quick and he comes out strong, but he's got a lot to prove tonight.
He does, but you know what? You got to respect that no matter what happens, because he goes to get you. And he goes out to accomplish something that some fighters lay back and they got to get warmed up. But he comes get you. Now, he can be gotten at the same time. And sometimes that happens.
You know, Oscar, at one point you happened to be 12-0 in your career like the fighter from Kazakhstan is, and taking on a veteran like Pablo Cesar Cano. What's it like when you step up your level of competition? He's never been 10 rounds or scheduled for 10 rounds before, never been past 6.
Well, he can be like a deer
in headlights.
In headlights. Either the deer runs off to the woods, or the deer gets run over. This is a big step, and Cano is no pushover. Cano has experience. He has that championship level experience. If it comes out tonight, he's in trouble.
And one of the things that Robert Diaz, a matchmaker for Golden Boy, told us is that Cano took the Eric Morales fight on a week-and-a-half notice. He was going to come here as a guest, as a fan, to watch Eric Morales against Matisse. That fight fell through, and he got his chance. He lost, but eventually, a few fights later, he would win a world title. That just goes to show the type of heart he has, B-Hop.
Yeah, and determination to get to the top where he wants to be. And you know what? He didn't hesitate. And he wanted that opportunity. And you know what? He didn't succeed, but you know what? He's right back here to have a chance to do it again, and that's the key. He didn't get discouraged.
You know, Golden Boy is all about wars, and every time you get Pablo Cesar Cano in the ring, you can expect one thing. It's going to be punches, it's going to be somebody getting cut, and somebody throwing bombs all night, Oscar.
Well, you know, if you notice now, his left eye is bleeding. I'm not sure if it was a punch or a headbutt, but he has very delicate skin over the eyes. Very delicate, which has cost him a few fights. There's times where he can be ahead on the scorecards, and he gets cut, and he loses the fight. Cesar Cano has the experience, the hunger. He's such a dedicated fighter that he'll fight anybody.
And he actually won his world title against Joan Perez on a cut of his when he won a technical decision. All right. The two Golden Boy partners here, Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya. All right, Oscar, we're here for one thing, because the strip will be packed on Saturday night, waiting on Canelo Triple G2. They're talked about knockouts, and you today on ESPN were sitting next to Fernando Vargas, and I know what that rivalry was like. It seems like now Canelo Triple G have a real rivalry. Do you expect a knockout-type fight, or will they use their intelligence and their skills more than anything?
Well, there's a lot of tension between them now, and I mean that's it's like music to my ears. I love the tension.
I love it now too.
Right, exactly. So I mean now they're fighting with something extra, like some kind of energy that has gone into their body, and they trained harder. They ran more miles in the gym. They're taking it very, very serious. They want to knock. They want to get a knockout.
Like I know that Fernando Vargas for you was personal, but how were you able to harness still the intelligence to not get too hot-headed, but still get that knockout?
Well, that's the whole trick about getting angry, is that you have to control yourself when you step inside the ring. You have to fight. You have to fight angry with a chip on your shoulder, but you have to know how to control your emotions when you're inside the ring. Because obviously, look, Bernard Hopkins was a mastermind. A mastermind, and the way you have to block it out. You have to go in there, laser focus, stick to your game plan, but at the same time you have to fight angry.
You can fight angry and professional too. So we are professionals and we know how to control that anger. Most of us know how to control it.
We'll find out if Canelo can do that against Triple G. And here, Madiyev having a really good round because he's connecting with that overhand right that has been so even Cano said, that's been my Achilles heel over my career, getting caught with the right. He gets caught once again, and it's once again Madiyev going with the right hand. Now, B-Hop, when you know your weakness, you're supposed to work on it. He had some time to work on that, 11 months away from the sport. He looks fresh, but that right's still landing.
Well, he looks fresh now, Bernardo, but you keep getting hit with right hands like that, you won't be fresh as the rounds go on. You know, first his hands is a little bit down, but he has to be in a different position where he can make that become his blessing. He can make that become beneficial to him. But if he continues to stay there, that right hand's going to be there all day. And you know what? By him leaning to the right hand is coming from the left. He's going to always run into it because he's moving the wrong way. He has to move the opposite way.
Ruslan Madiyev had a 250-fight amateur career where he won 232 of those fights. Oscar, you had an extensive career. How do you see it translating for Madiyev as a pro? Because even Abel Sanchez said, well, that's a rabbit punch there.
Don't hit him back here. Okay.
Even Abel said, you know, he's still a project as a pro, and I really want to see his power develop. Hold on, real quick. Ready. Let's listen to.
Listo? Vámonos.
All right, please go ahead.
Rabbit punch, I believe we saw there, and that's the inexperience. Those are the nerves from a young fighter. He had an extensive amateur career, more than 200 fights. He has to know how to slow it down. He has to, you know, stay calm, cool, and collective. You have, I believe, 10 rounds to work with here, and you cannot fight every round as if it was your last round. You have to pace yourself. You have to take your time, catch your wind, use your experience from the amateurs, but at the same time, you have to plant your feet and throw your punches with different force, different power. There's a lot of variables that come into play transitioning over from amateur to pro, and I think he's doing it very well. He's looking great right now.
And that ring generalship, Oscar, you mentioned that generalship is good. You know, that ring generalship.
Stan Barrett with Oscar De La Hoya there on the This Is Sports Center. That's, you know, not everybody gets an iconic This Is Sports Center commercial. What was that like for you?
Well, you know, I won a gold medal and 10 different world titles just so I can try and get on Sports Center. Yeah. So it worked. My plan worked.
And even Eric Gomez was happy because he was in the background, you know, as an extra. So the Golden Boy president also in there. But, you know, it's very interesting because this is a fight that's really captured the imagination of boxing fans and even non-boxing fans who want to see who's the best between Canelo and Triple G.
Well, you know, and it all starts with the rivalry that they have built together. Canelo and Triple G are meant for each other. They're gonna create a perfect storm. They're gonna go inside that ring wanting to knock each other out. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, Oscar, we could spend all night talking to you about the Saturday night main event, but we thank you for joining us here for the first 2 rounds of this fight. I know the fans want to get some FaceTime with you as well, so thanks for joining us, Oscar.
Thank you very much.
All right, Bernard Hopkins and Bernardo Osuna here from the Joint at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. And so far, a great first round from Cano, and then a second round where Madiyev used his quickness and his skills to kind of get inside and work a lot better against Cano.
Yeah, get inside and let his hands go, you know, top and bottoming up, because he knows that if he continues to do that, then the later rounds will be beneficial to him. So this corner expressed it, now he's doing it.
One thing to say it, another thing to do it. Pablo Cesar Cano throwing a lot more punches than Ruslan Madiyev, and there we see the body work from Pablo Cesar Cano with a nice hook to the solar plexus with the right hand, and there he's trying to, put water in the basement, work, make those deposits for later on in the fight.
But he also got caught with a right uppercut because he's not really, to me, using his height wisely, because he's leaning forward and he's crouching down. He has the height, he has the reach. Use that until the opportunity comes to do what he's doing now, but it's not right to do it yet.
No water in the basement, obviously. I'm stealing from the Teddy Atlas thesaurus. A big shout out to Teddy here, who's here in Vegas covering the Canelo Triple G fight. Great body work from Pablo Cesar Cano, and then the work to the head, as Bernard Hopkins was mentioning early. Ooh, nice left hook there by Cano as well. That kind of shook Madiyev. I mean, and this is an uphill battle for Madiyev, because Cano looks at him and says, hey, I've been in against elite fighters. I've been in against harder punchers. I've been in against quicker fighters and fighters with a lot more experience. So the confidence level of Cano is great here in round 3.
Yeah, and the only thing that's going to change that is if things don't go his way and he has to make, to continue to throw his punches, because right now he's doing all the things he mentioned to us, and he's doing it well.
For Madiyev, yeah, the cut once again from Cano's left eye, it's something that he's been used to. It had held up, the cuts had held up pretty good over the last couple of fights, but here once again it was early on, Oscar De La Hoya's side at the end of round number 1, that Cano was cut. But when you've got experience with cuts, it tends not to bother you as much.
Well, he seems to be handling it well. He's still throwing that right uppercut that's landing. And so, as long as he continues to do those, but not get hit with that right hand, then he can sustain rounds after the cut.
All right, the referee said accidental headbutt, so that's a very important situation that Russell Mora caught, because it means a whole different situation we would go to as opposed to as if it was a punch.
Yeah, it would, but it seems that his corner did the right thing. They put the right, pressure, and it's not doing anything now.
Get him up.
A little low blow right there, but I think the cut is being taken care of in the corner, and let's see if he can avoid those right hands to be able to not let it be a factor.
All right, so Cano at least twice as active in terms of punches thrown and landed. The percentage is, pretty close, but activity is always looked on favorably by most judges. So Cano in a good spot here going into the 4th round. Cano's cut man said, hey, the cut is no big deal. They're used to it. We mentioned it earlier. It's been part of his career. He's been cut, I believe, in 7 fights now as a pro.
And you know what? Cano is fighting like he's saying, okay, I got a cut, but you know what? He's even fighting more, to me, aggressive and throwing punches in bunches.
Yeah, sometimes, well, for Cano, he wants the fight to go 4 rounds so they can go to the scorecards. He knows he's doing, or should be doing, well. Nice combination punching from Pablo Cesar Cano with the uppercuts followed by the looping shots to the chin.
That was an 8-punch combination, and every punch hit his target.
1-2 combination from Pablo Cesar Cano. Effective. Madiyev trying to come back with something. Not as effective.
Cano continued to throw his right hooks and those jabs. After he threw a jab in the right hand, that left hook could continue to sneak in between the guards.
You saw how Madiyev tucked that right elbow right next to the liver, trying to protect the body, because Pablo Cesar Cano, they call him the demolisher. That's what demoledor means, because he demolishes opponents, works them from the body on up, and that's exactly what he's doing here in round 4. You can't buy experience. You got to get it inside the ring, and here that experience gap is evident.
Whether it's good or bad, experience is experience.
Well said, D-Hop. Sometimes you got a lot of rounds. When we look at 207 rounds coming into here against 52, not all of the rounds have been great for Cano, but he's learned from every single one of them. His father told us, hey, you learn a lot from your losses, and he's had 7 of them as a pro.
The rivalry stays heated. September just turns it up. The stakes are high, and the fuses are short. Can you feel it? Red Sox Yankees, Wednesday at 7 on ESPN.
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter. I always seem to find myself questioning something that the government may not be looking at. I found something really bad. I'm feeling really sick.
Eddie.
Who said that? I have been taken. I'm so sorry. Why would we do that? What did you want about me?
You will find out. Venom in IMAX, October 5th.
Si lo dejas a él, te va a ganar el round. Tú impon tu ritmo. Cuando lo tengas, trabaja tu mano.
Both guys trading close. That's where the headbutt. Two guys clash heads. I don't think it was on purpose, but when he lifted up, he realized that he'd been cut. Same thing, they both throwing combinations, but the right, left up, left up uppercut came along with the right hand. Good punishment inside.
All right, so El Demoledor doing his thing, and Beto Duran now joins us, lets us know after 4 rounds what's going on in each corner, Beto. All right, we'll get Beto Duran eventually to join us here from the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. The Triple B's on the call. Bernard Hopkins, Bernardo Osuna, and Beto Duran. Beto, what's going on in the corners?
You guys were talking about the difference in ring experience and the amount of rounds. Exactly what Abel Sanchez said would be a factor, especially going into the later on in the fight. He said his guy doesn't have the experience, and they've been imploring for him to throw the jab, and he hasn't been doing it. Now, Pablo Cano, his dad told him, tenemos la experiencia. We have the experience, but move your head. He feels like he's going to hit too much standing up.
Nice combination punching there from Pablo Cano. Good work there from Beto Duran, giving us the insight from both corners. It just seems that Cano's very confident walking down Madiyev.
And they've been patient about it. Sort of, you know, when I see styles where Alexis Aguero was at his best, he just walked you down slow. Does not look like he's doing too much, but systematically breaking you down. We just seen that 2 or 3 punch combination, and blood right now is coming down the face of his opponent.
All right, Madiyev now able to connect on 2 looping right hands, but it's just not enough volume compared to what Pablo Cesar Cano is doing in the ring. Pablo Cesar Cano's thrown over 500 punches so far in the first 5 rounds of this fight, compared to less than half of that from Ruslan Madiyev. And if you could at least say they're really effective punches from Madiyev, but they're not. He's facing an uphill battle.
And Madiyev is like 2 steps back. I mean, he seems to be getting out punched, and also the speed level. He cannot handle it. He seemed to wait to see if something there, and he never sees it, and he never reacts to it, and that's why he's getting beat to the punch right now.
And it's very interesting because Pablo Cesar Cano, the boxer, is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You never know what version you're going to get. It looks like tonight we're getting the good version of Pablo Cesar Cano.
Yeah, but Madiyev just threw a good palm combination, got some energy. If he can continue to keep that energy all the way through, he can at least be more competitive in his fight and never know what might happen. But he threw 2 or 3 punch combination. He just threw overhand right, and he seems to be motivated by the corner or himself.
And, you know, Madiyev made no secret about it. He knows that his right hand could be the one that finishes Pablo Cesar Cano. There it is. The mouthpiece, I think, comes flying out. Pablo Cesar Cano is hurt. Madiyev is stalking now here in the 5th round of the scheduled 10-round fight. Look at the blood now coming out of the face of Pablo Cesar Cano.
And another cut, another cut.
Right there, right there. Time.
Wow.
Over here. No.
This is huge.
Okay, run it. Go ahead, run it.
Look at the cut, the way the blood is dripping. B-Hop, I don't know how they let him continue here.
It won't continue. This is a nasty, bad cut, and the gash is open.
Let's take a look at how this horrible cut happened, B-Hop.
I mean, he just came right in with his head.
Come in.
He's trying to throw. You see it, both guys connected. And you know what? Both guys really hit each other head. It wasn't intentional, but because both guys were looking down and they threw each other their heads to meet, like 2 rams ramming their head.
And I mean, it was Cano who really leaned in. Ruslan already had his head there, and nonetheless, you just see the amount of blood that came down immediately. Psychologically, as a fighter, how do you recover from this?
Well, you can't recover from it. It's there. You have to mentally understand that this is a nasty cut. Referee's watching. The world is watching, and you know what? You got to find a way to survive in this situation.
Let's listen to what's going on.
Time! Over here. Okay, corner, you got to come out now. I'm going to the doctor just look at it. Go ahead. You're... Okay, we're done? Okay, thank you very much.
Fight's over due to accidental headbutt. We should be going to the scorecard. I mean, I don't think that there was any doubt in our mind that this fight could continue, B-Hop. It absolutely couldn't.
I mean, if it were to continue out maybe around referee, everybody been watching, that looked like a nasty cut.
Look at the gash on the forehead of Pablo Cesar Cano. In Spanish, we call it an alcancía. That means he's a piggy bank. You can put some coins and some money in there.
And that's pretty long.
So big. I mean, just the fact that it happened so close to the end of the round was probably fortuitous for him. But nonetheless, we're going to go to the scorecards, and there should be little doubt as to who was dominating this fight. B-Hop, I mean, it's rare when you see the blood start spurting that way.
Yeah, it is. And that fight can linger on.
Wow, so Beto Duran is reporting that it's going to be a technical knockout, even though it was an accidental headbutt that caused that shot. Beto, how is that?
I just spoke to referee Ruslan Madiyev. He said it's a TKO, the result of a punch. That's what he just told me right now. Spoke with the doctor. They said they can't stop the bleeding in that corner. The doctor immediately stopped it, but Ruslan Madiyev saying it's a TKO because of a punch on his ruling.
All right, we'll take a look at it here. There was the punch happened after. Well, you know what? The way the blood spurted was after the punch. The cut might have happened initially. I'd like to see a different angle if we have it, where you can see the cut, because I don't think that cut...
To me, it happened in the head, and the cut didn't start until he leaned back and then got hit.
Yeah, when he got hit, the blood started to spurt out, and the hemorrhaging started, but I think the cut was there. It just didn't blow up like a ketchup packet. I mean, that was like straight out of a wrestling match.
That was a collision.
Right.
And when he came out of that collision, that's when you seen the damage.
Let's take a look at another angle, because clean.
Here's right there. That's the collision. Now.
Oh, it's cut.
He's cut right there. Headbutt, not a punch.
The headbutt caused the cut. The right hand caused the hemorrhage that caused the stoppage of this fight. So yes, this is very clear. Look, no blood, no blood. Absolutely. Here comes the head leaning in. Collision happening there. And look at the red spot on the face of Pablo Cesar Cano. It's a cut caused by a headbutt. Now, Beto, if you could find out if they will allow instant replay, that would be great, based on the Nevada State Athletic Commission and what they rule here, because
that was clearly a headbutt.
To us with the replay, well, even we called it live that it was a headbutt and then a punch.
I'm looking at when you notice the blood.
All right, Beto, what is going on? We're going to see the punch.
Ruslan Madiyev spoke with Bob Bennett. They're going to the scorecards now. Rule the headbutt.
All right, so they're doing the right thing, B-Hop, because fortunately here they've got the big screens up on
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 5, our physician at ringside determines that Cano can no longer continue this bout because of an accidental headbutt and a cut sustained in the 5th round. Therefore, we go to the scorecards to determine our winner of this main event tonight. All 3 judges have it through 5 rounds, 49-46 for your winner by technical decision from Tlalnepantla, Mexico, el demoledor, Pablo Cesar Cano.
All right, we'd like to remind you that Pablo Cesar Cano won the WBA interim super lightweight title in July of 2012 when Johan Perez, when he was cut. So he wins this fight very much in the same fashion.
Same fashion.
I mean,
we couldn't draw that up.
Yeah, man. You know what? There's nothing better than when the commissions get it right, B-Hop, and they are to be commended tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? They got it right because the replay made everybody looks good in this decision. And you know what? It's the right decision.
It is. That angle, you really can't see the blood, but this one perfectly illustrates exactly that the cut was there, that it was already bleeding, and this is just what caused the hemorrhaging to start. And Pablo Cesar Cano, as soon as he shook his head, I mean, there were pints coming out of his body. All right.